Mr. Toole, which case are you involved with?
Sorry, excuse me, Your Honor. I'm counsel for the estate of Lois Linnell Mann, and Mr. Toole, in addition to Mr. Posey, are both going to give testimony.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, sir.
All right. Well, then if I can get Mr. Toole and Mr. Posey to raise your right hands. You and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. You may proceed.
Mr. Toole, can I get you to state your full legal name for the record?
Oop, and he's muted.
How's this?
That's better.
Okay, Randall Lee Toole.
And are we here today to probate the estate of Lois Linnell Mann?
Yes.
And is it true that she was your mom? Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's true that she passed away on February 15th, 2021 at the age of 77 years old. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's also true then that 4 years have not passed since her date of death. Is that right?
Yes.
Also true that she had a fixed place of residence here in Austin County, Texas on the date of her passing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, she did in fact pass away with a will that was dated July 9th of 2013. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've had the opportunity to review the will dated July 9th of 2013. Is that right?
Yes.
Therefore, you believe to the best of your knowledge that will is in fact self-proven. Is that right?
Yes.
And Your Honor, I request to take judicial notice that the will on file with the court is in fact the original will of Lois Linnell Mann.
I will, and I have it here.
Perfect. And is it true that that will that's filed for probate that the judge just showed for you, that will was never revoked or modified by your mom? Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's true that that will does in fact name you to serve as the independent personal representative, but doesn't fully state independent executor. Is that correct?
Yes.
But it's true also that all the beneficiaries, yourself, Scott Toole, Ryan Toole Posey, Shelley Lynn Coble, Robert Douglas Blair, Brian Lee Blair, they've all filed waivers and they agree to an independent administration in which both you and Ryan Posey are going to serve as co-independent administrators. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it's true that there's not a government agency of the state that's named as a beneficiary under this will. Is that correct?
Yes.
There is a charitable organization, however, Greater Houston Soaring Association it's a devotee of a limited bequest of vehicles. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you just a couple questions about the family now. We're done with the will. Is it true that after the date of the will, there was not a child born to or adopted by your mom?
Yes.
And is it also true then that there wasn't a marriage that was dissolved after the date that will was executed? Is that right?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, there is a necessity to administer this estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, you're not disqualified by law from accepting letters of administration or serving as a co-administrator in this estate and are entitled to such letters. Is that right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, you may call your next.
Mr. Posey, you might want to enable video just for the testimony if you can. Perfect.
ma'am.
Can I get you to state your full legal name for the record?
Ryan Toole Posey.
And Mr. Posey, did you listen to the testimony that Randy Toole just gave?
Yes.
And would you substantially agree with all of the answers that he provided?
Yes.
Do you agree to the appointment and to serve as an independent co-administrator in this estate?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, you're not disqualified by law from accepting letters of administration and you are entitled to such letters. Is that right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I pass the witness and respectfully request that we admit the last will and testament of Lois Linnell Mann into probate and that we appoint both of her sons to serve as independent co-administrators for Ryan Posey and for Randy Toole.
All right, well then, based on the testimony, I admit the will into probate and appoint Mr. Posey and Mr. Toole as independent co-administrators. Ms. Griffin, if you just get the proof of death and the oaths into the clerk's office, then they can issue the letters.
Absolutely. Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
And then there'll be an inventory that'll be due in 90 days. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Griffin will help you get that together. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Have a great afternoon.
All right, and so, Ms. Yates, are you ready? Oop, you're still muted.
Yes, I am. Now you can hear
All
us.
right. I can get
All
you
right.
to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you may proceed.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Will you please introduce yourself to the judge? My name is Twyla Moore Tompkins. And Twyla, did your mother, Gay Elizabeth Campbell Moore, die on January 28th in 2021 in Austin County at the age of 91?
Yes.
And did she have a permanent residence in Austin County at the time of her death?
Yes.
And we filed your mother's will dated January 27th, 2012 with the court. Is that right?
Yes.
And Judge, we would ask you to take judicial notice of the will that's on file, and we have a copy we are looking at here.
Yeah, and I got the original here.
Thank you, Your Honor. And as far as you know, that is your mother's will, correct?
Yes.
And did your mother ever revoke that will?
No.
Did she have any children born to her or adopted by her after the date of the will?
No.
Any dissolution of marriage after the date of her will?
No.
And had she ever applied for or received Medicaid?
No.
And is the state a governmental agency of the state or a charity named as a beneficiary in her will?
No.
And the will names you to serve as independent executrix without bond, correct?
Yes.
And you're entitled by law to letters testamentary for your mother's will and estate?
Yes.
And is there any reason that you would be disqualified from serving as that independent executrix?
No.
All right, Your Honor, that's all. I pass the witness, and we would ask that the will be admitted to probate, that Twyla Moore Tompkins be appointed independent executrix to serve without bond, and appraisers in this estate be waived.
Okay, well then, based on your testimony, I admit the will into probate and appoint you as the independent executrix of the estate. There will be an inventory that'll be due in 90 days, and Ms. Yates can help you get that put together. And so, Ms. Yates, let me see. Do we have the proof of death or anything? Has that been filed?
I have them here, and we will get them filed probably today.
Okay, so you get those filed, and then they can issue the letters, and there'll be an inventory in about 90 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Ms. Barker, have you heard from any attorney representing Ms. Turner?
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll give her a few more minutes, and then we'll start like, looking at dates, I guess. Yes, one thing we can just start doing, just to start eliminating some things, is looking at some potential dates. And
Okay.
Ms. Lozano is on the Zoom also. First of all, how much time would you anticipate that you need?
Probably an hour or two.
We had already set this
Oh,
last time. It's set for June 22nd at 1:30, and I went ahead and blocked out the whole afternoon.
Okay. The June 22nd is where I had a vacation letter on file, and I was wondering if we could possibly move it to the next week or something like that.
okay.
But you're thinking, I'm sorry, Judge.
Just if you want to look in that next week, last part of June, first part of July, see if any of those.
So half a day or 1 hour?
No,
Because that would
really,
make a difference.
we better do half a day.
What about June 30th at 1:30?
That's fine with me if it's okay with the judge.
Ms. Lozano tells me when to show up, so.
Okay. That would be much preferred.
Okay, so Wednesday, June 20th at 1:30.
June 30th.
Yeah, okay, Wednesday, June 30th at 1:30.
Okay, June 30th, 1:30, okay.
Now, we could talk some logistics here. I mean, we can just say it's gonna be set for June 30th at 1:30. By that time, I sure hope that we're gonna be, everything will be live. As I understand, sort of the current orders from the Supreme Court is that we can start doing live stuff unless people have concerns. And if they have concerns, then we're kind of supposed to go back to Zoom. So you'll have to, so let me just ask first, Ms. Barker, do you think you'll have a problem being live June 30th?
No, I won't. My only concern, quite frankly, is if she shows up without an attorney and then we have to reset it again, but I have no objection at all to live.
Okay.
She's coming from further away from West Texas.
Yeah, but she's almost Oklahoma.
Okay. You probably know better than I do. Wichita. I'm sure she would probably prefer it by Zoom, but then you can't arrest her. So, but if she shows up without an attorney, we'll have to reset it again, right?
Probably. What's the alternative?
Well,